Archangel Michael says, "Only you have not seen what took place while the world slept, and heaven is crying out to wake you before it's too late." Something sacred was revealed in the silence of the night, and though your eyes were closed, your spirit was meant to be wide awake. This is your final chance to know the hidden truth God kept aside just for you. Heaven is pressing your heart right now to open this message before the moment vanishes forever. Type 999 if you trust Jesus. The night was not quiet in the realm of the Spirit. While the earth lay in darkness and most hearts drifted into dreams, God moved through the stillness with a whisper so soft that only those who listened closely could feel it. A truth, too heavy for the distracted, was dropped into the atmosphere. A door, unseen by the busy, was gently opened. You were not forgotten, but you were asleep, unaware of what the heavens tried to deliver. Like this video and subscribe to this channel if you believe God's plan is perfect. Last night was not just another night. Something eternal was decided about your life. And even though you cannot remember feeling anything different, your name was spoken before God with great urgency. The angels were present. The light of the Lord glowed brightly in places where you once cried. Chains were broken. But this is the part that should touch your heart the most. God reached for you in the quiet, and you didn't notice. He visited the corners of your soul with healing, but you were too burdened to receive it. Now the sun has risen, and the world looks the same, but you are standing in a different time. Heaven has shifted. The day that broke after last night is not ordinary. It's carrying the remnants of something divine, something only meant for you to walk into. But the longer you delay, the further it slips from your reach. The more you brush it off, the more hidden it becomes again. God won't keep shouting. His love is gentle, but He is also holy. He does not wait forever. The truth is simple: you were created for abundance, yet a dormant brain signal has been holding you back. Scientists call it the money-attracting frequency, and once awakened, it pulls wealth into your life like never before. Others who pressed play once are already transformed, living the life they dreamed of. Do not hesitate or let regret steal this chance. Click the link in the video description and comments below to unlock your prosperity now. This is why you are here. You're not reading this by mistake. Your spirit was pulled to this message because heaven still hopes you'll respond before it's gone. This is not about fear. This is not about guilt. This is about grace. A grace that knocks one more time before it walks away and lets you return to the heaviness you thought was permanent. But it isn't permanent. Your pain, your delay, your confusion, none of it is final unless you let it be. You were chosen to know something others will never find. You were marked to carry something others refuse to believe in. But belief begins with trust, and trust begins with listening. And this message, this moment, is your chance to listen like you've never listened before. Don't make it about whether you deserve it. Don't make it about how much you've failed or how far you've wandered. That's not how heaven speaks. That's not how your Father sees you. God has not been silent with you. You've just been surrounded by too much noise to recognize when He whispers. He's not angry with you, but He is desperate for you to realize what you almost missed. He placed something deep in your future, and last night He unlocked the path. The angels cried out for you. I cried out for you. Because I saw what God planned, and I know how close you are to walking away from it without even knowing it was there. Type 2121 if you trust God's plan for your life. Do not wait until another night passes. Don't tell yourself you'll come back to this later. That's not how the Spirit moves. What was opened last night won't stay open forever. The opportunity for healing, for breakthrough, for divine alignment, it has a door, and that door is cracked open now. If you ignore it, you may never walk through it again. If you open your heart now, something will begin to stir inside you. You'll feel the tug. You'll feel the ache that isn't pain, it's purpose trying to breathe. It's your spirit recognizing that it was created for something more, and that more has already been released into your atmosphere. God is not keeping anything from you. He's trying to get everything to you. But you must be willing to stop what you're doing and receive it. Not with your hands, but with your heart. This message isn't about proving your worth. It's not about fixing all your flaws. It's about finally saying yes to the truth you've run from. The truth that says God still believes in you, even when you stop believing in yourself. The truth that says heaven hasn't canceled your promise, even if you've lost hope for it. The truth that says last night wasn't empty, it was filled with glory waiting to fall into your life. Please hear me. This is not a warning filled with fear. This is a cry filled with mercy. You've cried so many times in the silence. Now heaven is crying for you, hoping you'll understand how much you're loved, how much you're needed, and how much is waiting for you right now. Let your heart pause. Let your spirit respond. God's not far. He's closer than your next breath. And what He revealed last night is still hovering over your life, waiting for your yes. You need to understand what is really happening in your life. This is not just a season of trials or a random wave of hardship. This is the moment before something breaks open. God has been trying to show you that what you lost was not punishment, but preparation. What was taken away did not break you, it cleared the way for what He has been trying to send. But the sending is not the end. The receiving depends on your heart, your stillness, your trust. Keep listening until the final moment, because the Lord has wrapped this message in His love for you. Heaven is not confused about your worth. You are not just another soul among billions. You were crafted with intention, spoken into being with purpose, and set apart with a calling that cannot be replaced or reassigned. And last night, the veil was pulled back on something that you have been praying for but didn't even know how to ask. It wasn't lightning. It wasn't fire. It was a holy whisper. It was the moment God said, "Now is the time." But you didn't hear it, and that's why I'm here. You were never meant to live a life filled with fear and shadows. The love of God surrounds you with light, even when you can't see it. But last night, the light touched something buried deep in you. A wound you never talked about. A memory you thought you moved past. A moment in your past that quietly shaped your future. God placed His hand on that place, and He didn't do it to hurt you, He did it to finally heal you. There are things you've cried about that no one else knows. There are moments you've collapsed in silence, wondering if God was still with you. And the truth is, Not only was he there, he was weeping with you. But he didn't just weep. He waited. He waited until your heart was ready to hear what your pain was never meant to hide. That you are not forgotten. That your story is not over. That something holy has been prepared, and last night was the beginning of its unfolding. Type 2222 to open the door to new blessings. You think you've wasted time, but heaven does not operate by clocks and calendars. What God has for you cannot be delayed by missed years or wrong turns. He restores what was stolen. He renews what was broken. And he rebuilds what looked like ruins. But he will not force you to walk into what he has prepared. He invites you. And that's why this message is in front of you now. It's not just words. It's a doorway. One that was opened when the world was sleeping, and only those who listen with their hearts will be able to step through it. Stop wondering whether it's real. Stop questioning whether you're good enough to be chosen. You were chosen the moment your soul took its first breath. And that calling has never been cancelled. It has only waited, patiently, silently, until your spirit would come back to the place where it first began to dream. That place is here. That moment is now. And I promise you, if you say yes to it, everything around you will begin to move in ways you never expected. You will feel things shift inside you. Peace will start to rise in places that were filled with anxiety. Direction will start to appear where you only saw confusion. And most of all, you'll begin to hear the voice of God again. Not in loud crashes or burning bushes, but in the soft quiet of your soul that says, I'm still here. I've always been here. And I never stopped fighting for you. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are not too late. You are on the edge of something sacred, and the only thing holding it back is hesitation. Let go of that. Step forward. Believe again, not in the world, not in people who failed you, but in the God who never left your side even when you felt alone. Every second you wait, wealth meant for you slips into someone else's hands. A hidden brain wave, once buried in CIA files, has been proven to awaken unstoppable prosperity. In just 7 minutes, you can unlock the switch inside your mind that draws abundance like a magnet. This is more than an opportunity, it is destiny knocking. Click the link in the video description and comments below to activate your hidden wealth wave right now. Heaven is holding your miracle gently, but it cannot wait much longer. The hidden truth that was revealed last night is still waiting to be claimed. And you, beloved soul, are the only one who can open your heart wide enough to receive it fully. This message is not to scare you. It's to save you, from settling, from doubting, from walking through life unaware of the treasure that is already yours. If you knew what was just ahead, your tears would turn to dancing. Your worry would turn to worship. And your silence would be filled with songs of hope again. So please don't delay. Please don't say later. The moment is now, and heaven is still holding it open. But the longer you wait, the harder it becomes to hear the call that was once so clear. This is not about what others see in you. This is not about titles, positions, or the things the world celebrates. This is about something so deeply spiritual that only your soul can feel the weight of it. When God chose to speak your name last night, it wasn't because you were perfect. It was because you are needed. What is inside of you carries a light this world cannot afford to lose. And so heaven cried out for you. I cried out for you. Because we saw what God placed in your path and how close you are to walking past it. Type 222 if you know God is with you. You've been waiting for a sign. And in truth, it already came. It came in your sleepless nights, in the restlessness that kept stirring inside you, in the tears you cried without knowing why. That was not just emotion. That was your spirit responding to a truth you hadn't heard yet. The truth that says something holy is chasing you down with mercy, not punishment. With grace, not anger. With healing, not judgment. This truth is not something you can see with your eyes or touch with your hands. It's something that breaks into your heart when you stop running from stillness. And that's what last night was about. A sacred silence, where heaven tried once more to whisper to you without the noise of the world getting in the way. You didn't hear it because your heart was too heavy. But that doesn't mean it's lost. It only means God waited until this very moment to try again. And now you're here, standing in front of a message that feels like more than words. That's because it is. This is your confirmation. This is your divine encounter. This is the message that God held back for only you. Not because others don't matter, but because you needed something different. You needed a soft voice, a gentle call, a holy reminder that says, I have not forgotten what I promised you. I still have every intention of finishing what I started in your life. Last night was the moment your future shifted without your permission. And even though your life might look the same, your spirit knows that something feels different. That is God's way of showing you that the new beginning you've been praying for has already been released. But what you do now will determine whether you walk into it or continue walking in circles around what no longer serves you. God has already opened the path. You don't have to make it happen. You only have to walk forward in faith. Even if your steps are slow. Even if your hands are trembling. Even if your heart still carries old wounds. God is not asking for your perfection. He is asking for your surrender. Because that is all He needs to take what was meant to destroy you and turn it into the foundation for your miracle. You are not too damaged. You are not too lost. You are not too late. That is the lie the enemy whispers to keep you from looking up. But heaven is shouting louder now. And what God said last night still stands. He is still choosing you. He is still preparing the way. And He is still sending every angel necessary to make sure that you are protected until the blessing reaches your hands. What you feel right now is not weakness. It is awakening. Your soul is responding to a frequency only heaven can release. It's not just emotion. It's alignment. You're being pulled into the place you were always meant to be, and even though it feels unfamiliar, it is not unsafe. God is here. And where He is, there is always purpose, always peace, and always restoration. Let this be the moment where you stop fighting the silence and start receiving from it. Let this be the moment where you lay down your fear and trust the one who already walked through your storm before you even entered it. Let this be the moment where your yes becomes the beginning of everything that was written over your life in heaven before you ever took your first breath. The truth is, this is not the end. This is not the breaking point. This is not the time to give up. This is the opening of the door. This is the light after the dark. This is the answer to the tears you cried alone. God is not just near. He is reaching out. And this time, He wants you to take His hand without pulling away. Type 1515 to receive peace in your soul. You are about to walk into something so sacred, so needed, so beautiful, and it was all spoken into motion last night. Please don't let fear steal it. Please don't let doubt delay it. Heaven is still calling your name, and the response it needs is not perfection, it's presence. Just be present. Just be open. Just say yes. There are things God spoke in the quiet that are already beginning to rise in the atmosphere around you. Invisible to the eye, but not invisible to faith. He is arranging people, redirecting outcomes, healing wounds, and removing obstacles, all while your heart was trying to survive one more day. You were never abandoned in the storm. You were being carried, even when you didn't feel it. And now, after all the silence and struggle, heaven is calling for your attention one final time. This is not a call to panic. It is a sacred invitation to remember who you are and whose you are. You are not just someone trying to get through life. You are someone God placed on this earth for a divine purpose that no one else can fulfill. And that purpose was stirred last night in the courts of heaven. There were whispers about your life, decisions made about your future, and a breakthrough attached to your name. But you must believe it. Not with your mind, but with the part of you that still believes in light, even when everything feels dark. So many things tried to block you from this moment. Disappointments. Rejections. Delays. Losses that broke you in ways you didn't talk about. But none of them succeeded in destroying you. You are still here. That means the plan God wrote for you is still in motion. And what happened last night was not a coincidence. It was the start of your divine release from the weight that's been silently crushing you. You need to know this: God saw your tears long before they fell. He knew the exact moment you'd feel like giving up. And instead of letting you slip, He sent heaven to surround you. That's why you've made it through things you never thought you'd survive. Not because you were strong enough, but because grace held you when everything else fell apart. The struggles you faced were never your fault. A hidden brain frequency, once buried in secret research, has been silently holding back your wealth. Now, for the first time, it is available to you, and it only takes minutes to activate. Imagine the chains of debt breaking, the doors of opportunity opening, and your life flooding with prosperity. This chance may never return. Click the link in the video description and comments below to claim it now. Last night, heaven didn't just speak. Heaven remembered. Heaven remembered the child inside you who once believed in miracles. Heaven remembered the prayer you whispered years ago, then forgot because it never came. Heaven remembered the moments when you stood in silence, too exhausted to speak, but your soul cried out anyway. And now, after all this time, the answer is being released. But here's what you must understand: it won't look like what you expected. It won't come wrapped in the same colors you imagined. Because what God is doing is not just a response to your requests. It's a fulfillment of what you never even dared to ask for. It is bigger than your past, stronger than your pain, and more beautiful than anything you've lost. You are not chasing blessings anymore. The blessing is now chasing you. It's coming not because you earned it, but because heaven decided it's time. God is not looking at your failures. He's looking at your future. And He is determined to make sure that nothing, no lie, no delay, no fear, can stop what was unlocked in your life while the world slept. Type 1616 if you surrender to God's will. Let the tears fall if they need to. But do not let the enemy convince you that this is the end. It is not. This is the holy beginning of everything you were born to become. Your identity is not your pain. Your identity is not your past. Your identity is the promise of God breathing life into your tomorrow right now. And even if you feel unworthy, unqualified, or unsure, none of that matters. What matters is your response. Not to the fear. Not to the old voices. But to the whisper that says, I'm still with you. I never stopped loving you. I never stopped believing in who you could be. That whisper is heaven's voice. And it is growing louder, hoping you'll finally stop running from the truth and start walking toward it. There is nothing you have done that can cancel what was spoken over your life last night. The hidden truth that God wants to reveal is not about shame, it's about freedom. It's about lifting the heaviness you were never meant to carry. It's about showing you who you really are without the labels this world tried to place on you. You are not too far gone. You are not too broken. You are not too late. Please, let this message reach the part of you that's been hiding. Let it wrap around the places where you stopped hoping. Let it pour life into the corners of your spirit that you thought were dead. You have no idea how close you are to the turning point, the miracle, the shift you've prayed for in silence. What took place in the heavens was not ordinary. It was not small. There was a decision made, a final one. It was the kind of decision that cannot be reversed, the kind that carries your name and touches every part of your journey from the pain in your past to the promise of your future. And it wasn't just spoken over you lightly. It was spoken with deep love, with tears in the eyes of the one who shaped you in the beginning. God is not trying to scare you. He is trying to save you from settling for a life beneath what He created for you. You have walked through years with weight on your shoulders that wasn't yours to carry. You've taken the blame for things that weren't your fault. You've questioned yourself so deeply that even your own reflection stopped feeling familiar. But last night, something shifted. Not because of anything you did, but because God decided it was time to remove the veil that was blocking your vision of who you really are. Type Amen if your soul rests in God, and share this video with 9 people of faith to welcome blessings and miracles into your journey. The hidden truth is this: you are not broken beyond repair. You are not too late. You are not forgotten. You are deeply known, eternally loved, and specifically chosen to carry light into a world that's drowning in darkness. You are not here by chance. The enemy has tried everything to make you feel small, but God has already prepared a stage where your voice will rise, your story will shine, and your healing will become someone else's hope. But you cannot walk into that if you keep closing your heart. That's why this message is so important. That's why heaven is still holding open the door that was unlocked while the world was asleep. The final chance is not about punishment. It is about timing. Heaven does not wait forever, and the longer you stay asleep to what was spoken, the further the blessing begins to drift. Type 2020 to claim joy and strength. Don't let that happen. Don't let this be another moment you scroll past, another truth you ignore, another day where you let pain speak louder than promise. You were meant for more. And last night, God proved it by sending angels to carry a blessing so delicate, so personal, that only your spirit could understand it. But it must be received. Not by your logic, but by your surrender. What God wants to do through you is not only for you. It is for the people connected to your obedience. The ones who will find their own healing through your story. The ones who are waiting to see that miracles still exist, that redemption is still real, and that even the most shattered hearts can still carry light. You are not just the one in need of saving, you are the one being raised up to carry salvation into places others have given up on. And no, it won't be easy. But it will be worth it. God never promised that the road would be smooth. He promised that you would never walk it alone. That every storm would pass, every lie would fall silent, and every chain would eventually break under the weight of His love. You've been strong for too long. You've held on when everything inside of you was falling apart. Now it's time for you to stop surviving and start rising. There is a reason you're still standing. There is a reason you didn't give up when you had every right to. There is a reason your soul kept reaching for hope even when hope seemed far away. And that reason is that God was holding you for this very moment. To wake you up to the truth. To show you that what you thought was your end is really your beginning. I'm not just speaking to your situation. I'm speaking to your soul. The part of you that's tired. The part of you that's numb. The part of you that wonders if anything will ever change. That part is being revived right now by the same voice that called you into existence. And that voice is saying, "You are still mine. I still have plans for you. And it's not too late. Please don't let this chance pass." Don't ignore the feeling rising in your chest right now. That's not fear. That's your spirit recognizing the truth it was made for. That's your soul remembering the sound of heaven. And even if you don't understand everything, all God needs is your yes. Just a yes. Just a whisper that says, "I'm ready." God has not forgotten a single detail of your journey. Every heartbreak, every delay, every unanswered prayer has been recorded, not to punish you but to redeem you. The tears you shed in silence were not wasted. They watered the soil of your destiny. And now, after seasons of being buried, heaven is calling forth what was hidden. You cannot see the full picture yet, but you are standing at the edge of the reveal. That's why this message feels different. It's not just information. It's impartation. Last night, God set things in motion that will touch places you didn't even know needed healing. He began pulling away the heaviness that has weighed down your spirit. He began aligning people, opportunities, and doors that you thought were closed forever. What you see as random encounters are really divine appointments. What you feel as sudden clarity is actually the first light of your breakthrough breaking through the cracks of your confusion. You have been through so much, and yet here you are, still standing. That alone is evidence that grace has been surrounding you, even in the seasons you thought you were alone. You did not survive on your own strength. You were carried. You were protected. You were preserved. And now you are being positioned. Positioned for restoration. Positioned for healing. Positioned for a kind of peace you've never known before. Type 111 if you believe miracles are near. The hidden truth God is trying to show you is not a secret meant to scare you. It is a revelation meant to free you. It is the understanding that your worth has never been tied to your mistakes, your delays, or your pain. Your worth is tied to the one who created you, the one who calls you by name, the one who has been speaking over you even when you were too tired to listen. He never gave up on you. And he never will. This is why I cry out for you now. Because heaven's window is still open, but it will not stay open forever. God moves in seasons, and this is your season of awakening. This is your time to step out of the shadows of shame, of fear, of feeling forgotten, and into the light of knowing you are chosen. This is your time to respond. Not with panic, but with trust. Not with doubt, but with faith. Not with hesitation, but with surrender. What if you could unlock a secret brain wave that top scientists discovered inside the hippocampus, the very switch that signals wealth and abundance? Hidden from the public for decades, this breakthrough can rewire your mind to attract prosperity faster than you imagined. Picture the stress of bills replaced with financial freedom and new opportunities. Every delay is a missed blessing, and those who act now are already walking into the wealth you deserve. Step forward before the door closes. Click the link in the video description and comments below to activate this ancient money wave and step into abundance today. When you open your heart to what God is doing, you will begin to feel a shift inside you. Old fears will lose their grip. Old voices will lose their power. Old patterns will start to break. You will begin to see yourself the way heaven sees you, not as a mistake to be fixed, but as a miracle being revealed. And when you start to see yourself this way, everything else in your life will begin to align with that truth. Do not let the lies of the past hold you hostage any longer. You are not defined by who left you, what hurt you, or what you lost. You are defined by who loves you, and his love is unshakable. You are defined by who calls you, and his call is irrevocable. You are defined by the purpose he placed inside you, and that purpose is about to rise. So breathe. Feel the weight lift. Feel the presence of God wrap around you like a warm blanket. This is not a dream. This is not wishful thinking. This is real. This is your moment. This is your final chance to see what was hidden, to know what was whispered, to step into what was unlocked. And you are not alone. Heaven is still here. I am still here. And God has never been closer. All he needs now is your yes. Your willingness to stop looking back and start walking forward. Your willingness to believe that what he said last night still stands today. Your willingness to trust that you have not missed your moment. Because you haven't. It's here. It's now. And it's waiting for you to take the first step. Everything you went through was not wasted. The prayers you whispered in the dark were not ignored. The tears you thought disappeared into nothing became the water that softened the soil of your future. Every closed door, every delayed answer, every season of silence has been working together to bring you to this exact moment. Heaven is not punishing you. Heaven has been preparing you. And now the preparation is complete, and the call to step forward is at your feet. Type Amen to trust God's plan for your life. Last night's cry from heaven was not about judgment. It was about freedom. It was the moment God said, "No more chains." It was the moment the weight you have carried in silence began to break, even if you couldn't feel it at first. Right now, that breaking is still happening. It is loosening fear. It is unraveling shame. It is clearing away the fog that kept you from seeing who you truly are. It is not too late. The door is still open, but it will not stay open forever. This is why you are reading these words now. Because you have been chosen for more than survival. You have been chosen for restoration. For joy. For a peace that does not disappear. For a future that is not a repeat of your pain. And heaven is calling to you not to scare you but to awaken you. This is not the end. This is the turning point. This is the moment your spirit begins to rise. You have walked through darkness that no one else knows about. You have smiled through pain, held yourself together when you wanted to collapse, and stayed standing when everything around you tried to push you down. That resilience is not just your strength, it is God's grace keeping you upright until the day your breakthrough arrived. And beloved soul, that day is now. Heaven has been moving pieces of your life into place without your knowledge. People you haven't met yet, opportunities you haven't seen yet, doors you haven't imagined yet, they are already on their way to you. Because last night God gave the order. The answer is no longer pending. It has been released. All that is left is for you to open your heart wide enough to receive it. And this isn't about earning it. It isn't about deserving it. It isn't about trying harder. It is about saying yes. Yes to letting go of the old story. Yes to forgiving yourself for the things you cannot change. Yes to believing that God's love really is that big, that patient, that relentless. Yes to walking through a door that was opened for you while the world slept. This is your moment to stop carrying shame like a second skin. This is your moment to lay down the lies that told you you were not enough. This is your moment to breathe in the truth that God has never been disappointed in you. He has always been fighting for you, always believing in you, always preparing something better than what you lost. If you could see what is waiting for you on the other side of this yes, every doubt would dissolve. If you could hear the sound of heaven right now, you would know how deeply loved you are. You would know that last night's whisper from God was not just an event in time, it was an opening into a new life. And that opening is still here, still waiting for you. Take a breath. Let the light in. Let the words sink deeper than your mind into your heart. The hidden truth is not meant to frighten you. It is meant to free you. It is meant to remind you that you are chosen, you are covered, and you are being called higher. It is meant to remind you that God is not done with you, not even close. Type 3030 if you believe Jesus lives in your heart. Heaven is still holding the door open. The angels are still surrounding you. The promise is still alive. All that is left is for you to whisper, even if it is through tears, "I'm ready." And when you do, everything that began last night will begin to bloom right in front of you. God has been watching over you since the beginning. He saw the nights you cried quietly, the moments you thought your prayers vanished, the days when hope seemed like a language you had forgotten how to speak. Yet even in those moments, He was building something. He was shaping your character, strengthening your faith, preparing your path. Nothing was wasted. Not a single tear. Not a single delay. Not a single loss. All of it has led you to this exact point, where the divine and the human meet in a moment of awakening. Last night was heaven's announcement that the long-waiting season is shifting. What was hidden is now being revealed. What was blocked is now being opened. What felt dead is being resurrected. You might not see the full picture yet, but your spirit knows something is different. That is why you are drawn to these words. This is your confirmation. This is the echo of heaven reminding you that you have not missed your chance. Do not underestimate the gentleness of God. He does not force His way into your heart. He knocks. He invites. He calls softly until you turn your head and notice His presence. That is what this message is. It is another knock, another invitation, another chance to say yes before the window closes. It is heaven saying, "I have more for you, but you must open your heart to receive it." The truth you are being invited to see is not about fear. It is about freedom. Freedom from the story that told you you were forgotten. Freedom from the voice that said you had no future. Freedom from the weight you carried so long you forgot it was there. Freedom to believe again, to dream again, to stand up and walk into a life you once thought was impossible for you. This is not fantasy. This is the reality heaven has already set in motion. Everything you endured was training for what is about to unfold. The times you thought you were being ignored were actually times you were being protected. The delays you hated were delays that kept you from stepping into rooms that would have harmed you. God has been guiding you, even when you didn't realize it. And now He is revealing the why behind the waiting. The answer has always been love. Love that refuses to leave you where you are. Love that reaches into the dark and calls you by name. Love that has the patience to wait until your heart is ready. You are ready now. That is why these words feel like a mirror for your soul. That is why your heart is beating a little faster. That is why tears might be rising even as you read. This is your spirit recognizing truth. This is your soul responding to the voice of God calling you out of hiding, out of shame, out of fear, and into the life He designed for you. What if a simple 7-minute sound frequency could awaken a forgotten brain signal designed to pull wealth toward you like a magnet? Backed by shocking CIA files and neuroscience, this discovery is now changing lives everywhere. Think of debts melting away, promotions arriving, and abundance flowing freely. This is the one moment that can rewrite your future, but only if you claim it now, because hesitation will only keep you chained to the same struggles. Click the link in video description and comments below to experience the hidden wealth wave and let your financial destiny shift in your favor today. Type "I believe" if you believe miracles are on the way. Take this moment seriously. Not in fear, but in reverence. Let it wash over you that the Creator of the universe thought enough of you to orchestrate a night where heaven whispered your name, and a morning where an angel cries out to remind you what you almost missed. You are not small. You are not forgotten. You are part of a story bigger than your pain, bigger than your past, bigger than your own plans. The door is still open. The blessing is still waiting. The angels are still surrounding you. And God is still speaking. All He asks of you is to respond. Not with perfection. Not with a checklist. Simply with openness. Simply with a yes. Even a trembling yes is enough for Him to begin. Say it now, even if it's under your breath. Say it now, even if you don't see how. Say it now, even if you're afraid. Because your yes is the key that unlocks everything that was released over you last night. Let the light in. Let the love in. Let the truth in. Heaven has already begun to move. All that's left is for you to step into it. The hidden truth is not a riddle meant to confuse you. It is a revelation meant to free you. It is God's way of showing you that the darkness you've been walking through has not been wasted. Every heartbreak, every unanswered prayer, every closed door was not proof of His absence but proof of His protection. He was shielding you from paths that would have led to harm. He was preparing you for a new chapter you could not yet see. And last night, He opened the door to that chapter. You may feel tired from the waiting. You may feel unworthy because of the mistakes you've made or the times you've doubted. But none of that has disqualified you. The invitation remains. The promise still stands. The angels who cried out last night have not left your side. They are still here, holding space around you, keeping the way clear so you can step forward without fear. This is the mercy of God at work, refusing to let you slip away unnoticed. What is coming for you is not a small change, it is a deep shift. It will start in your heart as a quiet courage. It will grow into clarity where there was confusion, into hope where there was heaviness, into peace where there was panic. It is the slow, steady work of God transforming you from the inside out so that when the external blessings arrive, you will be ready to carry them without being crushed. You do not need to understand every detail. You do not need to figure out how it will happen. You only need to say yes to what God is doing. Yes to letting go of what is gone. Yes to forgiving yourself for what you cannot change. Yes to believing that you are still loved, still chosen, still seen. This yes is not a one-time action. It is a posture of the heart, a quiet agreement to let heaven finish what it started in you. The final chance that God speaks of is not about fear of punishment. It is about urgency of timing. Seasons shift. Doors open and close. And right now, there is a door wide open for you, one that was unlocked last night and is still waiting for your steps. This message is your reminder before it closes. your invitation to move while the path is clear, your assurance that you have not been overlooked. Type 222 if you trust that God is with you always. Take a moment right now. Breathe deeply. Feel the weight that is starting to lift, even if only slightly. That is the first sign of your heart softening to the truth. That is the whisper of God drawing near, speaking in the quiet places of your soul where no one else can hear. Let it in. Let it settle. Let it change the way you see yourself. You are not what happened to you. You are not the mistakes you made. You are not the fears that tried to cage you. You are a child of the Most High, spoken into existence with intention, carried through storms with grace, and now being invited into a future that your past cannot cancel. This is the hidden truth heaven is crying out for you to see. The blessing is ready. The angels are ready. God's heart is ready. All that is left is your yes. Even a small, trembling yes is enough. Because God does not require perfection, He responds to willingness. He takes what little you have and turns it into more than enough. He takes the fragments of your hope and breathes life back into them until they become whole. Let this be your moment. Let this be the morning you remember as the day you finally opened your heart to the truth that was waiting for you. Let this be the first step into the life God has been preparing while you walked through shadows. Heaven is still here. I am still here. And you are still chosen. Take this message as your sign. Take it as your confirmation. Take it as your final invitation to step into what was released over you last night. And as you do, watch as the unseen begins to bloom before your very eyes. The hidden truth that God wants you to see is not a dark secret meant to frighten you. It is a revelation of how loved you are, how deeply heaven has been involved in your journey, how carefully your steps have been ordered even when you thought you were lost. Every turn, every tear, every lonely night has been moving you toward this opening. Nothing has been random. Nothing has been wasted. All of it has been shaping you into the person who can stand in this light without breaking. Last night, the angels did not simply cry out your name. They began to build a hedge of protection around you. They began to align people, opportunities, and blessings that are now moving quietly toward you. What felt like emptiness was actually clearing. What felt like loss was actually room being made. What felt like silence was actually the sound of heaven arranging your life to fit the promise already written over you. You may still feel unworthy or unsure. You may still look at your past and see only failure. But heaven looks at you and sees potential. Heaven looks at you and sees purpose. Heaven looks at you and sees the image of God. The invitation before you is not about being perfect. It is about being willing. It is about letting the love that has been chasing you finally catch you. It is about stepping out of the shadows of shame and into the light that has been waiting for you. What if the missing piece to financial success wasn't luck, but a hidden frequency inside your brain waiting to be switched on? Once activated, this ancient signal unleashes waves of prosperity, opening doors to opportunities you never thought possible. From sudden windfalls to long-awaited breakthroughs, it's transforming lives daily. Want to see how? Click the link in the video description and comments below to tap into the Money Magnet brain wave and begin your journey today. Others are already awakening this hidden signal and watching their lives transform. Do not be the one left behind while abundance passes you by.